to the song. Hey.
Amazon's all about becoming the main place that everybody goes to buy product. So the biggest selection on earth, the most customer-centric experience, hopefully the lowest prices, and product always available. So if you start with this crazy idea, we're going to have everything you could possibly want to buy, always in stock, always at the lowest price. Just go do that, and then we're done.
All right.
So if you want to have low price, you need to have competition. If you need competition, you need more sellers on the platform. What's good for customers is not necessarily what's good for sellers. And so part of what I saw at Amazon is we wanted to recruit 10 sellers on the same SKU. Because if you only had one seller on the SKU, there was no price competition. If you had 10 sellers, then you ended up with better pricing for customers. And if you create better pricing for customers, more customers will come and buy on Amazon. Obviously, if there's 10 sellers on the same SKU and everybody's beating up each other on price, the sellers aren't very happy. But that's not what Amazon's trying to do. Amazon's not interested in what the seller wants. It's what the customer wants. Yes. So if you think everything that you do as a seller, you have to understand that Amazon is going to favor the customer any day over the seller. And so you need to figure out, how do you use the Amazon channel to help yourself as a seller, even though you know full well that Amazon is not aligned in terms of what it wants you to do versus what you want to do with the Amazon channel.
All right. Yeah, this definitely makes sense. Yeah, I think this is why Amazon has so great achievement in the market share right now, right? And well, I've heard that the market share of e-commerce in the United States is around 9%, and the rest, 91%, is the traditional trade. Is it correct?
I've heard it. Yeah, it's around 10%. What's more interesting than that, though, is that when you look at the growth of sales on Amazon, growth of sales online in the United States, more than half of it is going to Amazon.
Yeah.
So every year, Amazon is getting not only a bigger share of all commerce, but it's becoming far and away the biggest online seller in the United States, and it continues to grow at a faster rate than anybody else. And I mean, there's lots of reasons why that's happening. Certainly Prime and FBA are big aspects of that. But at the end of the day, Amazon has 400 million products in its catalog. If I'm a customer in the United States, how do I start my shopping experience? I go to Google or I go to Amazon. Well, now more people go to Amazon to start looking for products than they do going to Google to say, oh, I want to buy a new tie. Yeah. They go to Amazon and say, well, let me see what Amazon has. Let me see what Amazon has that's in Prime, and I'll probably find something good enough that I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
So Amazon, for people who are not living in the United States, it may seem odd that one company can so dominate the online experience. But right now in the United States, Amazon is where e-commerce is at. And Amazon is expanding into oversized products like furniture. They're getting into selling cars and tickets and all sorts of things that you wouldn't historically think about Amazon selling. But they recognize they want as many parts of your wallet as possible. And to do that, they need to get into all these other types of industries. And, you know, I wouldn't bet against Amazon on these. Even if they fail, they're going to learn from it, and then they'll come back with another effort to get into some new industry, and they'll figure it out at that point. Yeah. In the United States, one of the big challenges for most retailers is figuring out, how do you sell groceries profitably? And Amazon has figured out, I believe, how to do it successfully and profitably, so that they can now start selling consumers groceries a couple times a week.
All
if
right.
you sell groceries a couple times a week, that's a couple more times a week that customers are interacting with Amazon. They may buy the groceries, but they're also buying, you know, music and a pair of jeans and other stuff that you wouldn't normally be buying from a grocery store. But with Amazon, you can buy all those things, all have them delivered to your home when you get your groceries delivered. It's a pretty good experience for consumers.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did have a chance to look over the financials, well, the publicly available financials of the Amazon company. And the thing that I figured is they didn't report any profits. All the time, they reinvesting money into the development, into the fixed assets all over the world, into building up the new warehousing. Yeah, I think this is a pretty smart strategy for the Amazon as a huge company. And this is also a pretty smart strategy to follow for each Amazon third-party seller. You know, when you're starting generating some revenue, we can reinvest into launching new products and the business will grow, right? What do you think about this?
If you're a private label seller on Amazon, the likelihood of your private label product still being a bestseller in a year from now and 2 years from now, it's very unlikely that's going to happen. And the reason is everybody can get the data to figure out what the best-selling products are, and they can go find some other foreign manufacturer who will make a good enough version of the same product that you can put your brand name on it and start competing with whoever's already selling well on Amazon. So while companies like to go into private label because it's their brand, they can own it, they can hopefully make a little bit better margins, the reality is there's so many people doing this right now, and the data is so easily available for somebody to find, oh, Igor, you're selling blue shirts and they sell really well. I'm going to go find somebody who's going to make the same blue shirt, but for 10% less, and I'm going to fancy it up in some way, and I'm basically going to eat your lunch. I'm going to steal all your customers because I'm making a slightly cheaper, better product. Well, that happens every day on Amazon. So if you happen to make blue shirts and that's the business you're in as a private label seller, if you're not investing in new product development, not looking at ways to make your products better or to launch new products, the reality is in a year or even possibly less, your business will disappear because there's always a cheaper, faster alternative out there. Plus, the other thing one of the really important things I learned on Amazon is there's a lot of irrational behavior. There are a lot of sellers who don't understand how to measure profitability, and they sell products and they make 5 cents selling a product, but they don't know they're only making 5 cents, and they keep selling these items making 5 cents. And the guy who's trying to make, a couple dollars selling something, he can't get any sales because he's competing with guys who are happy making 5 cents on the sale. Either happy making 5 cents or don't even realize they're making 5 cents.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I encourage every seller on Amazon to understand really, really well, they must understand their unit economics. How much profit do you make on every single SKU you sell? If you don't understand those numbers really well, you spend all sorts of time selling product that either make you very little money or actually lose you money, and you think, oh, I'm building my business. No, actually, you're wasting a lot of time selling product that only Amazon makes money on. Amazon still gets their selling commission. You don't make any money as a seller. Customers are happy because they get product for an amazing price, but you're wasting your time as a seller. So you've got to keep reinvesting in your business. You've got to understand the unit economics, and you've got to be in a situation where you don't get emotionally attached to what you're selling.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you may love selling blue shirts, but in 6 months from now, there's so many companies out there competing against you that you'll never make any money. And now you need to go sell, blue jeans or blue shoes. And that's okay. But you can't be so attached to the products you sell today that when you're forced to go sell something else, you somehow become emotionally upset that, I can't keep selling with the product that I love selling. Amazon is about selling widgets. It doesn't matter what the product is. You need to find someone who can manufacture it inexpensively. You need to find a way to get it to market so you make certainly some margin. But you need to recognize that everybody's trying to do the same thing. And on Amazon, it's a very efficient market for data. So anybody can get the data and figure out what the best-selling items are. Anybody can go to Alibaba and figure out what it costs to make these products. And if I'm trying to enter a market where there's a lot of sales today on Amazon, and I can figure out that somebody's making a huge amount of money selling those items, why wouldn't I go try to find somebody and say, make it for me for cheaper, or make it for me for the same price and I'll accept a slightly lower margin because I know that I can make enough money to make it worth my time.
The other thing is, in addition to what you have said right now, there is the cases when you're entering a niche and you're the first in the niche, and you can got your 1.5 or 2,000 of reviews and got
Yes.
the first place in the niche, right? And for all other sellers, it would be much more harder to compete with you because you're already on the first page rank, right? In this
Yes.
niche. Yeah. So probably what do you think? Are there any ways to fix your, I mean, to get your stable position in terms of sales on the Amazon?